I'm gonna get killed for this. I'm going to get killed for this. Because Peacemaker Season 2 is kind of a mess. I didn't like Season 2 of Peacemaker. And I'm disappointed because I loved Peacemaker Season 1, but Peacemaker Season 2 disappointed me. Please don't kill me for it. If you want to attack me, then do it verbally in the comments, please. I could die for this. So last night I watched by the time I'm filming this, I watched Peacemaker Season 2 finale. Like, I watched all 8 episodes of that season, and I was disappointed. But there were still things, like, it's not like, oh my god, this is unacceptable or anything. It's not that. But I'm really disappointed with Season 2. So, here's a list of things that they got right. I think they did the canon, the continuity issue from Season 1 to Season 2, like transitioning from the DCEU to the DCU. Like when I first heard the news that Henry Cavill's is done as Superman and we're rebooting everything, like, I thought, like, James Gunn, are you gonna, like, retcon your own projects? Like, the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, like, those came out a year and a half ago to, like, 11 months ago when I first heard that news, like, but James Gunn then is converting the Suicide Squad and Season 1 of Peacemaker into his new universe. So, the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker Season 1 are canon, but mentions of the Justice League in those projects are not canon. But the rest of those, but the rest of the stuff in the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker Season 1 is canon. But mentions of the Justice League, mentions of Aquaman is not canon. Like, yeah, that's confusing, but James Gunn went in there to clean up a mess that the previous leadership of DC left out, and I don't think there was a perfect way of handling this, but James Gunn did the best he could and he handled it well. It wasn't a perfect way, but, like, in the introduction of Season 2, they did a recap of Season 1, and they replaced Momoa's Aquaman and Ezra Miller's Flash with the Justice Gang from Superman. So, Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl. So, the Flash and Aquaman is replaced by Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl. So, perfect. It's not a perfect way of handling it, but there's no perfect way. And James Gunn did the best he could there. And I applaud him for that. Like I was an idiot back in early 2023. I was a complete idiot, and I apologize. the other things that Peacemaker Season 2 got right is they got the characters right. Like, the characters still feel like the characters from Season 1. Like, what made Season 1 of Peacemaker so brilliant is even though they're not supers, they're just a bunch of government agents, technically, and their banter, like, they argue and all that, and Peacemaker finds a family, and he views himself as a piece of shit, and he finds family because Peacemaker was raised by an abusive white supremacist, and Peacemaker Season 1's just so brilliant because they took, like, the concept of a violent, like, vigilante character, like Peacemaker, raised by white supremacists. Like, sounds like a depressing show, but they made it into a comedic, lighthearted show and made a fun show out of it, and it balances heart and emotion and those things. And the characters are fun. Like, Vigilante's fun and Peacemaker's fun. Like, that's what James Gunn is good at. Like, taking obscure comic book characters and making people fall, like, in love with them and care about them. And that's why Peacemaker's probably my personal favorite, like, James Gunn project for me, personally. Season 1, at least. And with Season 2, they got the characters right, and I'm happy for it. And what they got right here next is I'm going to get into spoilers. So, I'm too lazy to edit it and put the time to skip ahead or anything, but I can't review the rest of it without spoilers. So, turn off this video right now. And the third thing they got right is that how they handled the multiverse thing. Like, what's kind of ruining the multiverse for a lot of people is that they're just using it for nerd boner fap material and dingle keys. Like, look, Michael Keaton, he's back as Batman as a multiversal variant. Michael Keaton's back as Batman! Whoa! And instead of just bringing back old actors and who play comic book characters in the past, or whoa, Wesley Snipes' Blade is back! Whoa, Tobey Maguire's back! Look, George Clooney as Bruce Wayne's back! Like, none of that. Like, James Gunn took the multiverse concept and took, what if there's another universe that has everything you ever wanted? Like, Chris was raised in an abusive household, white supremacist household, and he killed his brother accidentally when his father made him do it, and doing a fight pit. And what if it's kind of like, what if there's a universe where his brother's alive and his dad actually loves him and cares about him, which the show, like, builds up where it's actually sunshine and rainbows, and then there's build up that this is actually not a good dimension because it is Earth X, another dimension where the Nazis won World War II and the ideology spread around the world where it's the norm. And even though that twist was predictable because before the twist, like, on that dimension, like, there's no single white person in the background on screen or anything. It's just full of white people. And Chris Peacemaker brought up the Kardashians, and Chris's brother Keith was like, what are the Kardashians? Like, oh, Kardashian's a woman of color. Like, oh, this is a Nazi world. And this is bad news. Even though it was predictable, the reveal was still shocking in a way. Because at the end of that episode, like, when Adebayo was Danielle Brooks' character, took a walk out in the neighborhood, she got chased by racist white people, and like that, even as a white person, that shocked me, and that was terrifying. The shock, the cliffhanger was still crazy. Like it still shocked me. Like I haven't had a cliffhanger that shocking to me since Infinity War, and you did something right there. Like, yeah, it is gonna make people uncomfortable, and one thing that James Gunn did behind the scenes was gave Danielle Brooks the script and made sure she was comfortable, which was very considerate, because the concept of race and what if the Nazis won World War II, like, a lot of that is a very sensitive subject, and I know I'm gonna get people at me, but I'm shocked that James Gunn is willing to cover on those issues, isn't afraid to latch on to those issues, which I can respect, because that's called having balls. Like, I love it when filmmakers have concepts that are sensitive to some people and risk offending people. I know James Gunn grown out of his offensive tweet phase, but he still has that bit in him, and James Gunn, he has balls. So going back to multiverse, is that I'm glad that James Gunn was able to use that concept of multiverse and not use it for nerd boner fat material. That's what I call it. And nostalgia baiting, without doing any of that, and using the concept of multiverse as of grass is greener at the other side, from the other side, and using that, and having a loving father and a brother who's still alive, having a family a biological family that loves you and cares about you, to Peacemaker, that's just too good to be true. And there's a negative side effect to that, where in that universe, where his brother's alive and his dad's alive, and they love you, in the process, everyone's a racist and it's the norm. So that's where the grass at the greener at the other side. And even though that twist was predictable, that it is going to be Earth X, it was executed well. That build up, even though it was predictable, it was still shocking. And I loved how they handled the multiverse, and this season 2 still has heart and emotion, and the characters are still great. Vigilante, I actually, even though, I'll get into the flaws part, is that what's fun, they showed a little bit of his character by, he's still a basement dweller, and he has a base, he has this private room with a lock and key that shows, like, money from, like, crime scenes and all that he doesn't use because, refuses to use because that's blood money, and he has a basement full of cocaine, and, like, oh, I was expecting Peacemaker to have a game room like mine where it has all the consoles set up and shit, and because he brought up that even though that's after they revealed his basement, like, his favorite Pokemon was Infernape, which I never saw a movie or a show that mentioned Gen 4 of Pokemon, but I'm a little disappointed that Vigilante's favorite Pokemon is Infernape and not Torterra, because Turtwig was my star Pokemon of Pokemon Gen 4, and he evolved to Torterra. Like, if Vigilante's favorite Pokemon was Torterra, then that season would be a 10 out of 10 for me. Oh, that sucked. I'm a little disappointed. And he also played Princess Peach Showtime on his Switch, which I reviewed that game. Like, I'm the only, like, dude who went out of his way to play that, and I reviewed it. Me and Vigilante would get along really well. We would be buddies, aside from the favorite Pokemon thing. Okay, this is a segment where I get to everything I had issues with. Like, yes, they handled the multiverse, the canon issues, and they still handled the characters brilliant and the emotion brilliant. But this season 2 of Peacemaker has some serious structural issues that I had, because Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1 was like, okay, introducing the characters and doing a recap. Like, okay, like doing the whole canon issue thing. Like, okay, good. Then I felt like there were some filler episodes, like, in between that felt very filler, and I loved Vigilante in Peacemaker Season 1. Like, I love Vigilante. Just a fun character. Like, he's like a lovable himbo nerd type character. And, like, if I met Vigilante, we would get along really well. And Freddie Stroma, as a British actor, like, nailed the American, like, nerd accent, and he looks very young for his age, and looks a lot more like he's in his mid to late 20s rather than, like, in his late 30s, like the actor is in real life. So that's the magic of Hollywood for you. And there wasn't enough of them, and he didn't even get on his Vigilante, like costume until, like, they need to go rescue Chris, because he decided to banish himself into Earth X, where his biological family loves him and all that. Like, that's when the show started. Like, episode 6 and 7 are the two best episodes of that season. And then season 8, like, it's just a mess. Like, it's just a mess. Like, it felt more like a prologue episode, which I am okay with. But, like, I feel like there's no threat or anything like that, because episode 7 ended with a twist that Peacemaker's dad from Earth X actually isn't racist, and like he was on Chris's actual home, Earth. And Keith found out that the Peacemaker from the actual home dimension killed the Earth X Peacemaker, and he wants revenge. Like, that ended with that cliffhanger of Keith, I want to kill that imposter Peacemaker who killed my brother. I want to get revenge. And that twist was built up, and we never saw Keith in the next episode. Like, he will be, like, the final boss. Like, I thought he would be that, but after that cliffhanger, never saw him again. Maybe he'll sub his Season 3 or Man of Tomorrow, but there was no threat in Season 8. In Episode 8, sorry. And then, but Episode 8, I keep saying season, fuck me, and Episode 8, the final episode, ends with Peacemaker being banished to a dinosaur dimension where there's dinosaurs. Because Rick Flag, again, that's the plot. Rick Flag Sr. wants revenge for Peacemaker for killing Rick Flag Jr. and the Suicide Squad. So Rick Flag Sr. wanted revenge and he got it. So just like the final episode of Season 8, like, it felt like a happy ending, like, blah, 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 and then twist, and then, like, the structure of Episode 8 of Season 2 is just all over the place. It's just a jumbled mess. Probably the worst episode of that season. And the second worst are some of the filler episodes. Like, it started really slow at the beginning. Then it starts to get good, like, entertaining, and then the final episode, it just crashed and burned. That's Peacemaker Season 2. I had a lot to say about Peacemaker Season 2, because, like what ruined it for me was the structural issues of Season 2. Like, yes, the characters still work, and those things, they still work, and the characters still worked, and the emotions still worked, and how they handle the multiverse and the canon issues still worked. But the whole season, and it's just structured so bad. Especially the final episode, like, so horribly structured. Like, the final episode was supposed to build up to Man of Tomorrow. And one question to ask is, how are they going to put Peacemaker in a PG-13 environment? Which was a spin-off of the rated R, movie, The Suicide Squad. Like, how are they going to put Peacemaker in a PG-13 environment? And I don't know. I wanted to love Season 2. I wanted to do it because I loved Season 1 of Peacemaker. I love Season 1 of Peacemaker. Like, to a lot of people, like, Peacemaker is, like, a lot of people who dislike Peacemaker, like, complain, like, oh, it's too dick and fart jokey, like, oh, what, like, whatever, have your opinion, and have your own opinion, whatever, but this is my channel, and I just want to explain how I feel. And this is coming from someone who really enjoyed Superman. I saw it once in theater. I probably should have seen it again before making this. And love Season 1. I enjoy it. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm a fan of James Gunn. But Season 2 had me disappointed. It's just a mediocre season. They got the characters right and all those things, but Season 2 is just horribly structured. It's the story just doesn't work. Like, I have a lot other things to say about the ending. Some of the characters who were working with Rick Flag Sr., like, where the 11th Street kids, like, who are, like, Peacemaker's friend group, like, decide to use Vigilante's money, blood money, to spend money on a mansion and have Team Peacemaker. And the same people, like Tom Meadows and Judo Master, like, okay, I can give Judo Master credit, because at least he had some dialogue with Ababios on Earth X, where they were playing Scrabble, which is Scrabble on the Nazi Earth. Like, okay, I can give that, at least there's some development where a reason why Judo Master would join and work with Peacemaker. But Tom Meadows' character, like, you were working with, there was no character development or anything. Like, now they're all friends and are working with Peacemaker before Peacemaker got banished to the dinosaur dimension. So, some character development, more character development would have been nice. Like, I felt like it should lasted more than 8 episodes. So it could at least add add like episode 9 and 10. At least do that, or have episode 7 at the end be the cliffhanger for Peacemaker season 3. I would have at least been okay with that if Peacemaker season 2 ended at episode 7. But they could have waited for Peacemaker to get out of prison for season 3. At least save it for that. But they just crammed everything in episode 8. I keep saying season. Fuck me. They just crammed everything at episode 8. And it just ruined the ending for me. Christ, that was a long video. And I explained the best I can why I did not like season 2 of Peacemaker. Like, if you like season 2 of Peacemaker, if you like season 2, go ahead. That's fine. But this is my channel and my opinion, and I was disappointed. I just had some major issues. Like if it lasted for like 7 episodes instead of 8 like season 1 did, I would have been more happy. But the final episode ruined the season for me, and the filler episodes. That it was just kind of boring. If they just have episode 7 be the cliffhanger episode for season 3, I would have been happy. I'm not. I'm disappointed, and I'm gonna get killed for this. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you don't like my opinion, then I guess unsubscribe. Hope you feel better later. Goodbye.